Luckily, because I can. Wow.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Rocky Hill Open Space and Conservation Commission regular meeting for Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. I'd like to go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, anybody here from the public? Don't see anybody. Okay, applications for permits. Is this one?
Chairman, I gotta recuse
Yes. Yep, okay. Commissioner Stevens is going to be, has to recuse himself for this particular application for permit. We do not have an alternate tonight. So we do have a quorum. We have our 6 members, so we can go ahead and proceed, okay? Application for permit A, Joseph Maruzzi, JMM Properties LLC, removal of existing hard surfaces, curbing and pavement for creation of outdoor recreation area located at 1344, 1360, and 1352 Celestine Highway. Assessor's ID number 01-001 and 01-002.
Good evening, folks. For the record, I am Robert Rolls. I'm a principal engineer at BL Companies. I represent this project as the civil site engineer of record. We were here this time last month. Kevin Hickson, senior project manager for the project, presented the site plan. It was tabled. We also, I'm sorry, we were here.
Last month.
I'm getting my, last month. After that meeting, we did open a public hearing with planning and zoning. That hearing is still open as well. With that, I'd like to start, I'll just recap the project briefly. I believe there was a request if we had architectural elevations at the time. We do have those now. It should be on your screen. In essence, what we're trying to do at this site is upscale the building. It is currently a 5-story commercial building with offices on the 3rd through 5th floors with 2 levels of parking garage. We're going to keep the lower level parking garage. They'll be adding a fitness room. They will also, according to that architectural elevation, they'll be screening that whole area off. The 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and 4th floor will become apartments. The 5th floor will remain as office buildings. Onto the site, we have a colored presentation plan that we had prepared for planning and zoning. I wanted to share that with you as well. Reiterating what Kevin Hickson told you last month, what we're proposing to do on this project is, well, none of the work that we're doing in regards to this project is in a wetland area. We are proposing to do some work in the 100-foot upland review area. And the basis of that work is removing impervious surfaces. So we are not creating new impervious surfaces. We are taking away bituminous concrete, concrete curb, concrete sidewalk, things of that nature, and we're replacing it with pervious surfaces, specifically, 4 inches of topsoil, seeded, and lawn. We're calling it a recreation area. So if you look at that colored presentation on your screen, you'll see, if you look closely at the lower part of the page where we have 3 trees in the green area, if you look closely, you can see the outline of the existing parking striping. So that kind of gives you a quantity of area that is actually being converted to a green area in opposed to the asphalt that's there now. We do have, we submitted a minor correction. We coordinated further with the architect when we got the elevations and so forth. We had to modify, and if we could go to the site plan next here. Thank you. Can you go to SP1, please? You'll see we have some areas with red rev clouds there. Those were the areas where we had a change. We had to, there was a little swapping of pervious and impervious in the upland area as well as areas elsewhere on the site. The net result of that is, and we told you last month that we were going to be giving you back 5,979 square feet. We're actually shorting you 50 square feet, and it's 5,929. But that, again, 5,929 is the number of square feet we're converting from impervious area to pervious area in the upland review area. Are there any other specific questions? Did you want me to recap anything that Kevin told you about other things that are, there's very minimal work going on in the site. Those rev clouds also reflect the fact that we're removing some of the tenant-owned generators and the concrete pads associated with them. We had a little bit of swapping for some sidewalk where the architect moved a door and we had to match it up and things like that. But that's what the basis of those changes are. We don't expect any other changes unless, of course, we go to planning. When we go to the public hearing, there was no public opposition the last time we were there. So we don't expect any changes. But if they request something, obviously, something might change.
Madam Chair, one other modification you made was added a second row of silt fence as requested last month here. Yep.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, yeah, that did come up in the meeting last. We have no objection to that, so we went ahead and added it, considering we were sending you some revisions anyway.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Brown?
No questions.
Vice Chairman Whalen?
No question.
Secretary Kelly?
No questions?
Commissioner O'Connor?
No questions.
Commissioner Schweitzer?
Yeah, I had asked to see if the silt fence was going to be doubled up near the wetland areas.
Yeah,
Has that been taken care of?
We are showing that on the plans now, yes. If you go to EC1, please.
No, your word's good enough.
We did receive the modified plans on February 27th.
Yeah, and I did look. Yeah, okay. I just don't have
I
strong
think you
enough
might have the
glasses to
older
see it now.
plans.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you and me both.
And then the outlet protection out there is adequate?
Yeah, as far as all the drainage structures, I did evaluate all those. I stuck my head down there and see what a couple of things there. Number one, we did verify with the DPW director, whose name escapes me, that there is no known history of flooding. I do have an email response from him that he agrees with me that there is no flooding conditions out there. So we're not modifying any of the drainage patterns or catchments or anything of that nature. I have visited the site probably a half a dozen times now. Barring a catch basin top or manhole cover getting damaged in construction, which I can't see happening considering the minimal construction we're doing, we intend to keep the existing structures, and I feel that they're of decent shape. There's no problems there.
Okay, and then the outlet, your splash pads and stuff are adequate out there?
Yeah. We don't have any concerns with the outlet.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for following up on that. I'm all set.
Okay, I don't have any questions either. Could I get a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to accept the application for permit for Joseph Maruzzi, JMM Properties, LLC. Removal of existing hard surfaces, curbing and pavement for creation of outdoor recreation area located at 1344, 1360, and 1352 Silestein Highway, Assessors ID number 01-001 and 01-002.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
I'd like to make a comment.
sure.
I just think it's amazing that you're putting back natural surface. I have not heard that in, I don't want to tell you how many years on this commission, but that's just wonderful. Thank you.
If there were an opportunity to do some other kind of low-impact design on the site, we would have done that too. But it just happens that with what we're trying to create there with more of a residential feeling, it works.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Congratulations. You passed.
Okay.
You're good on this one? Scott, you're good on this one for Brook Street?
this is, we're going to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that one.
Oh, you are, okay.
Yeah, it's the Cisco I got.
Oh, gotcha,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay, so Commissioner Stevens will be joining us for this one. We have Brook Street, Rocky Hill LLC, construction of a parking area, portion of building retaining wall, level spreader, and grading located at 553, 565, and 595 Brook Street. Assessor's ID number 17-004, 17-005, and 16-278.
So, good evening. For the record, my name is Jim Cassidy with the engineering firm of Halsey, Pearson and Cassidy. We were before you last month, and we presented the application for the property at 535 Brook Street. I'm going to give you hopefully a short evening tonight. At the last meeting, the commission members asked us to take a look at several different things, which we have dived into and taken care of the majority of. In addition to, can you hear me?
Raise the mic up. There you go.
Scoot down. So in addition to last week, we did receive comments from staff, which we've gone through and addressed. There were a few items that we are still in the process of taking care of. Mainly, the commission asked us to have a soil sample done, determine if there's any pesticides in the soil, and if there is so, how we're going to handle it. Unfortunately, the soil samples were done, but the lab was backed up, so I'm not going to have results till next week sometime. So we're going to have to continue the meeting. In addition to, there was talk about the existing evergreen trees out there, and if we can reutilize them as part of our landscape plan. We did have the arborist look at it. They did think it would probably not be possible. It wouldn't be advisable. So I had instructed my landscape architect to revise the plan to basically assume we're going to be new landscaping. So those are the two items that we could not get completed for this meeting. I can bore the commission and go through all the other revisions we made per staff comments and other comments that the commission have, or because we need to continue this meeting, we can ask you to continue it now and come back next month with a complete response to all the comments that the commission had.
Through the chair, just a
Sure,
quick
go
question.
ahead.
If we have additional questions from tonight, when we want to get those into
Sure.
the applicant?
Sure,
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
yeah, we can do that, yeah. Yeah. Yep, that way I'll give them an extra month if there's any other modifications we have. Okay, all right. Commissioner Brown?
Before we start, I was going to say that since it was my request about the pesticides, that we could always just put in the permit, if we wanted to vote tonight, that they follow current good practices as far as either, if there is pesticide, watering the soil, working on windless days. There are lots of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And again,
could just.
And I'm okay with continuing.
Okay,
Till
all
we
right.
have
In that case-
Right answer.
in that case,
And again, the
in that-
landscape plan, it
Okay.
wasn't 100%, so.
Okay, in that case, I have no questions.
Commissioner Stevens?
I just had a couple questions.
Sure.
In the soil scientist report, he showed the wetland as a ray pole. And in your hydrology plan, you included the NRCS map, which showed it as a Saco. Ray pole's outwash soil, the Saco's a floodplain soil. I imagine there's probably both soil types there. He might not have gone in far enough to get to the floodplain soils, possibly. But basically, my question is what's the base flood elevation for the 100-year floodplain? Do you have that by chance?
So my memory serves me, this is a flood zone A, so there's no elevation associated with it. The elevations in this area don't actually start until you come back underneath Brook Street. So I'll double check it.
Okay.
I don't want to commit to the answer right now, but I'm pretty sure this is a flood zone A with no elevation associated with it.
So that's just like a 500-year flood zone?
No, it's a 100-year flood, but if you have an AE, there's an elevation associated with it.
Okay. So there's-
But what happens is when you're doing a flood study, when you have areas beyond where the actual flood study is done, it's basically historical information as to where it flooded to, but they don't have an actual elevation. So they identified it as a 100-year flood, but it's identified as an A, in Zone A. The only way to determine the actual flood elevation is to do an hydraulic analysis of the water course for 100-year flood and come up with that flood elevation.
Okay. Do you suspect that most of your development's going to be out of the flood
Yes.
zone?
Yeah, if you go out there, it's basically a plateau and drops off about 10 feet in elevation to the water course. We're up at the plateau elevation. We're well above.
Okay,
the
and then my
water.
only other question was, the last meeting, you had mentioned that you did deep test pits with depth to groundwater and possibly depth to modeling, things like that. And you thought that they might be in your hydrology study, but I didn't see them.
So they're actually, as part of the comments from that last month, again, with the revisions we made, we added them to the plans.
Okay.
So, and again, I know the commission doesn't like getting plans last minute. We went through staff comments. I didn't want to,
Okay.
submit things last week
Okay.
after making those changes. So again, I just don't think it's fair to the commission to, obviously, to get these things last minute, and we have the time on this one.
Okay, that's all the questions I had.
Vice Chairman Whalen?
No questions?
Secretary Kelly?
I have a question.
Sorry.
Jim, what are the options for some permeable paving in the Davidell area?
Typically, I would fight you on it, but quite honestly, in this soil type, I'm all for it.
Good.
It worked.
Let's have a chat.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you have, hydric category C or low permeability soils, there's a lot more work involved. Obviously, you got to build a layer that's going to infiltrate or hold back the water or store the water. This, you have sandy soils underneath, so it will infiltrate. So it's definitely possible. I can run it by the developer and, see, what his thoughts are. Obviously, the best place to do is in parking spaces, not main drive aisles, but we can entertain that.
Okay, will you have that on some plans next time so you can show us where you might
Yeah,
do it?
let me just educate him on it.
Sure.
Again, this is a great place to do it. So I kind of give him a heads up that this may be something that we had to look at in this particular site.
And as you know, you've been with us, in front of us, we're always working at low-impact development.
Yeah.
That's like our mantra.
Yeah,
So, and you can share that with him, that's one of the towns, our push
Yeah,
to
and
do that,
that's,
so it would
we
make
had
it a
some
very,
Yeah, we had some opportunities here, so that's why we had the infiltration swales between the parking areas. Dave made a comment last month about adding another swale along the entire front. You'll see on the revised plans, we did incorporate that. We also incorporated the berm along the front edge of the parking lot. We actually reduced it. We went back and we took another look at parking and said, what do we realistically feel we need? So we actually cut off 50 parking spaces. So we've done a bunch of, things since last month to the positive. And I think, permeable pavement is,
great.
a good opportunity also.
thank you. That's it.
Commissioner O'Connor?
With regards to the evergreen trees, you mentioned that your LA is creating a new planting plan. Is there any idea or ballpark you have as to whether it's like a one-for-one replacement of those trees or some ratio thereof?
I'll try to figure out how many are out there. I mean, it's pretty.
Well,
pretty
I guess the
overgrown.
point being that as many, as we could get back, it would be great. That's it.
Commissioner Schweitzer?
No questions.
Okay. Just you are going to try to double up or do something with the side that's abutting to Altera, correct? Or that's,
So we did incorporate a berm down that entire side. Again, we were trying to reutilize evergreens on it. The landscape or the arborist just thought that between the root ball size and the size of the trees, it probably would not be, number one, feasible that they would survive. In addition to, when you start cutting them into them, they really aren't that pretty because they have not been maintained over time. So there's a lot of dead sides in the interior of them. So
Yeah.
it made sense just to plant now.
okay, good. I have no other further questions. Can I go ahead and get a motion to table, please?
Make a motion to table the Brook Street Rocky Hill LLC construction of parking area, portion of building, retaining wall, level spreader, and grading located at 553, 565, and 595 Brook Street, Assessor's ID 17-004, 005, and 16-278.
Okay, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nope.
Thank you for your
We'll
time.
see you on the April 12th meeting. Thanks, Jim. Okay, next item. Since nobody here is from Cisco and we don't have a
Yeah,
response from Cromwell yet?
No, I spoke with official from Cromwell this morning. They have not submitted any revised plans there and had told Cromwell they were still investigating off-site wetlands, I guess. So no revised plans had been submitted, or any correspondence, and I've not heard anything from the applicant or their representative in regards to tonight, so.
Okay. Do we want to go ahead and table it again? Okay. Okay, can I get another motion to table, please?
Make a motion to table to Cisco Connecticut LLC, construction of new access driveway with guardhouse and truck parking located at 1355 Cromwell Avenue, Assessor's ID 20-009.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Okay. Put that on the agenda for the April 12th meeting. Okay. That covers the applications for permits. Go on to actions taken, minutes presented for approval for February 8th. Could I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to accept the minutes for February 28th.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Okay. All right. Discussion. Plan of conservation and development.
No report.
Okay. Status report, various projects.
We are interviewing consultants tomorrow for the remediation at 45 Evans Road, 35, 45, 55, I believe it is, Evans Road. We have several consultants we're interviewing all day tomorrow.
Okay. That's just going to be, they're not going to be,
That's under the Brownfields grant
okay,
that the town received.
okay. And they're not going to be going anywhere near the riverbank.
No, right, well, right now, we're selecting a consultant.
Right.
As part of that, as part of the study of the property, there will be test pits and probings done on the site,
Okay,
not on the riverbank.
okay. Okay. Anything else, any update on Ames or the Foundry?
Ames, they're continuing to remove pavement and process that. They are preparing to start doing foundations out there. Nothing on the Foundry.
Okay. All right. Open space?
Nothing.
Legislation?
Nothing.
Conferences?
It was just a memo from Steve Sopelak that was, I believe, was in your packet, just clarifying there was some confusion as to the training required for the commissions. For this commission, it's just the DEP course and not the other land use courses that ZBA and Planning and Zoning are partaking in.
Okay, and we are covered by Commissioner Stevens and yourself as being, okay. All right, but I would recommend the commissioners do take the training
You
for
can do it
knowledge.
at your own pace online.
Okay. Okay, great. Any correspondence and communications?
We did receive the appeal of the vessel application. Currently preparing the record for that, and then I'll be setting up a meeting with the town attorney.
Okay.
And while we're on that topic, we did receive an appeal yesterday for the planning and zoning denial of that application.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
That's all I have for correspondence, but I do have something under other business.
Okay, go ahead. Other business?
Came to my attention last week that there's an encroachment on town open space to the rear of 67 Murphy Drive. That's the corner of the open space as part of, I think it was the Trotter's Farm subdivision. Where town space was dedicated as part of that subdivision, and then the town purchased Straska Farm, so it's at the corner of the previous open space in Straska Farm. There's a area cleared and a shed placed and a fort-like structure out there. So I just sent out a letter this afternoon to the property owner.
Okay. Yeah, keep us updated on that. We have to Okay, thank you. Any other business?
Nothing.
Okay, do I have a motion? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Second, discussion? Nope, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.